Hey everybody, this is Muffin with the Daily Biker Podcast. Just here to let y'all know the opinions and ideas expressed in this show are those of the hosts and their guests, not to be confused with their partners and sponsors. Now, let's get it on.
Hey guys, this is Shawn from the Bikes and Beards YouTube channel, and you guys are listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You're gonna love it.
Now, you do remember this is a PG show, right?
Probably gonna cuss.
Yeah, coming from you. But
PGC. Probably gonna cuss.
this is PG-18, baby.
Yeah, PG. You're on the wrong fucking podcast.
And it starts. Anyway.
All right.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Daily Biker Podcast. My name is Marcus, and I am your clueless leader. Today we're going to go on a learning journey, and we have something special. You've heard his voice at the end of every episode, hopefully, if you pay attention. If you don't cut him off, as soon as you probably hear him talk, you're like, oh,
Like this guy.
But I think you've been on one other episode.
I was on 2. Let's just get that for the records.
They know.
We recorded 2, and the first one was amazing.
They already know you're not gonna defend yourself.
No, every single time we record this.
In another episode, I explained everything to him about what happened and how you got butt hurt. And
Well, yeah. Hell yeah. It was epic. It was on the showroom floor after work. Who else was here with us?
I'm not going into information about who else was here with us.
Yeah. So.
Because you know who else was here with us, right?
I don't remember. It's been so long ago.
Used to be up there.
I try to wipe out good memories that get washed away by others.
Used to be up there about 6 months ago. Used to sit over there about 6 months ago.
Oh, yeah. I got you. Keep going.
That's what I'm saying. How quickly was it like, and we're moving on.
We're moving on. Next.
So, anyways, today the reason we are sitting with you is to talk about your passion. I have some questions. And for those of y'all that have ever met Shawn, Shawn does not like being put on the spot. Shawn does not like having a camera in front of his face or a microphone in front of his face.
It's not that I don't like being put on the spot. Because I'm put on the spot every single day with every single interaction. But when I can avoid it, like these instances,
like I said,
then I would prefer avoid it. But just so we're clear, I'm a general manager at a Harley-Davidson shop, so you get put on the spot every 32 seconds.
Yes. So I made a list of questions.
Okay. And what are we going over here? I don't think you've gone over that yet.
I think it's pretty obvious what we're going over.
Well, it can be ADV, it can be training,
I have questions.
portions.
You're just going to answer the questions.
I'm just going to answer the questions.
Just answer the questions.
Okay.
Where were you last night?
Oh, yeah.
So I want to start with the basic question. And this is coming, from Shawn. Shawn is a general manager at a Harley-Davidson dealership at White Lightning. But Shawn is also a passionate motorcycle rider and ADV rider. So, first question, what is Pan America?
What is Pan America? And that's such an open-ended question because for me, I'm going to tell you what it is for me, obviously.
Yeah.
But I can also tell you what I see it for with customers. For me, it's what started my journey in the ADV world that was non-existent prior to that bike. When I worked for the dealerships in California and we would get a GS traded in, I couldn't stand the look of them. I couldn't stand the bags on them, the gear that the riders wore. The whole shebang was not for me. Okay, never in a million years will you see me on one of those bikes.
Now you walk around in your climb gear.
Oh yeah, I'm the guy getting made fun of, and I'm ready for it. I've grown thick skin to understand.
Oh, we lay it
that my team's going to make fun of me as soon as I walk in that door because they don't understand it. They don't get it. They don't understand that why it's. I was explaining this the other day to Deb Iyer, who works for the motor company. She's taken the journey as well too, and she does the riding academy. Great gal. And I was trying to explain it to her in a sense of when I was in California and I learned why T-bars made sense, because before I thought it was a Sons of Anarchy thing, right? And it was a cool style. I didn't understand the purpose behind the bars. Okay,
and I'm bought in.
And you put a 10-inch riser with a 2-inch bar on a Dyna or Softail, okay, that bar, your hand grips will fit right in between a car mirror and a truck mirror. Okay, so you can breeze through them fucking and split those lanes like it's fucking nothing. There's a lot of other purposes behind it, but that was one of the main things that I was presented to me when I was out there because I didn't understand it. I understand it now, right? Same thing with ADV. I get it now. I just bought my second pair of Moscow Moto bags that I never would have bought before because I didn't care for the styling and
Well, you wouldn't.
and
2 years ago, you didn't know the name Moscow Moto.
Hell no, I didn't. And
So-
it's been a learning journey for me. And the cool part about this Pan America is the people that I've been able to meet and link up with, and I think that's what takes us into the journey of where we are now. Had I not met them and had their reinforcement and their help and their assistance, I think this would have been a much harder uphill battle than where we're at right now.
Yeah, and I do want to point out for the people listening to this, when you say, every day is a learning experience for you with the Pan America, and you're so new to this, but you have gone head over heels. When GV first released their engine guard setup for the Pan America, and they showed it at the international show, and I took a screenshot from a YouTube video, and I was like, oh, look at this, and you're like, what is that? And now you have them on your bike, and you know every detail about them and every product that company makes, and it's just
And that
it is
just goes
such a passion
into
for you.
being ignorant to the brands and not understanding and knowing, and now knowing and learning and
Yeah, I think my dumbfounded answer when you asked me what GV was, I said that they were probably one of the largest aftermarket suppliers for ADV motorcycles.
Yep. And I didn't know who they were. It made no sense, but now they do, and they make some great products. That of which, I mean, obviously you said I got the engine guards on my bike,
Yeah.
which have already served their purpose several times in
Yeah,
protecting
that
me
was
from
special.
keeping me riding. So,
Protecting that custom paint job you have too.
well, mainly protecting where my radiator hose goes into the side of the engine case because it clearly would have taken a beating and might have left me stranded up in Tellico.
Yeah, and we've been in that situation.
So
before.
going back to that, never would I have been on a Pan America, okay? And I am on a Pan America now, and now I enjoy, and even that's changed. I had to have the seat in the lowest height. I had to have the adaptive ride height, which will lower you down up to 2 inches. I needed all that, so I thought, and even now, I have my seat all the way in the upright position as far as it'll go, and I 9 times out of 10 have my suspension fully locked out because my learning skills have changed, and what I've learned and how I've learned to ride and how your standard Harley rider comes up to a stoplight, right, with 2 feet down while you're still moving before you come to a light. And you don't pay attention to that until you learn from an ADV coach why we're only positioning one leg. Because
Yeah.
we're in rougher terrain. We're on bikes that are much taller than what a standard, like what a Harley typically is.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand that, so I was still coming up to my stops with my 2 legs out, okay, and doing that until, like I said, I was trained to see it through a different set of eyes. And that's all it is seeing something through a different set of eyes.
Well, and obviously, when all this first started, I might have been one of the people, or I was one of the only people at the dealership that had somewhat of an understanding and an information basis of ADV motorcycles. Now, mine was still that generalized knowledge. It wasn't, nowhere close to what you are. But it was one of those things where, talking about your seat being in the highest position, you having your ride height turned off, that was one of those things where I said, yeah, that's cool, but you want ground clearance.
Yeah, well, but
And now that you're doing it, you're
well, the
wanting
seat,
that.
the seat in the upper position has nothing to do with ground clearance.
Well, no, but the ride height.
That's the effect of standing and sitting down and making that transition happen quicker.
Yeah.
Where you've got less knee movement that makes for a more comfortable ride.
Well, the ride height, though, which
But
I
the
told
ride
you if
height,
I ever bought a Pan
correct.
America.
But that's what you got to
No,
listen to
right.
that, and that's what got me involved in it.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was insecure with that footing, and
Yeah.
that gave me that, and that was my platform to get into it. My next Pan America is going to be a non-adaptive ride height.
Well, I think the adaptive ride height is a good thing, though, because you still have a lot of people that buy that motorcycle that it's more for that styling and less for the truly the off-road use that it's 100% capable of.
Well, a lot of people are buying them that we're seeing for strictly on-road purposes, and that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
people have been doing that with BMWs and KTMs for years, and there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. It's not designed just for the road
So,
or for the dirt.
well,
it's,
and let
it's
me-
designed for both.
And let me ask you that. Obviously, I part of this is kind of an understood answer, but with there being so many other ones out there, what is it in particular? Because you hear it from all these other customers. What is it that is so exciting about Pan America?
The twist of the throttle. I think that's where it all begins, and it does on any motorcycle. But when you're comparing as many customers as we get that come through here that are comparing us with another model, and they came in and like, yeah, I was just down at a local BMW dealership and I test rode their BMW 1200 GS, and now I'm here. Okay, we're riding a Pan America. We take them on a Pan America, and they come back, and you got a grin from ear to ear. That throttle is completely different. Okay,
Yeah.
when you're talking horsepower, torque, everything on just the power. Okay, that sets us apart. Not to mention the adaptive ride height and everything else that sets us apart with the other makes and models out there.
So, let me ask you this. I say we are because I am an employee of the dealership, just as you are, and this dealership, because you as well as others see Pan America, are doing a lot more with the Pan America than a lot of people are. One of those things that we're doing is the rides that we're having.
Yep.
Third Saturday of every month.
30 days.
But one of the big things that we're getting into now, which I think we had 2 last year, and we've got our first one coming up, the 25th and 26th, is the dirt ways. It's our training. So that's what I have wrote down. Training, ? What is the training?
The training is funny. I just got a notification of another customer signing up for the training course. You'll love this one.
Well, I guess send me an email.
I will. Not right now.
Add it to the list.
So our training, okay, it started with me being on my second or third, whatever it was, Saturday ride. And
Well, I think it truly started with me and you that very first time we went out scouting.
well, it did, but I knew I needed time in the saddle, and I thought I knew what I needed. And I didn't know what I needed until we got there, and it was, we need training. I need training. I can ride the bike fine in these roads, most of these roads, but we start getting a little technical. And there's things in training that makes you safer and a better rider, which at the end of the day transitions into less effort from the human being and more effort on the bike, because you work against it like I was doing for the first good bit of me riding this thing. I'm coming back sore as hell, my back sore, my arms are cramped up. Right, it shouldn't be that way, and it isn't now. Now that I understand, standing and knee posture and bending and where I should be, and changing the riser's out 3 different times on the bike, to all the adjustments that we've done. But the Dirt Ways training gives you a foundation, and it's not just a foundation, because if you step into it and you're not a brand new rider, you're still going to learn something. I mean, I took the Harley Davidson Riding Academy after I've been riding for 10 straight years. And I can tell you, I learned something that I didn't know, right? And there's out of any situation you can find stuff like that where you can make it a learning experience, or you can sit here and say, well, that's for new riders, and I'm experienced, right? And the guy that just signed up, he's an experienced rider, okay? But he knows the trainer that's going to be leading the class, and knows that he's able to adapt and push him in a way that he might push me or someone else that maybe has less when he gets to see. So the Dirt Ways training consists of 2 days. Okay, and going back real quick, I jumped off where found we needed it was some of our customers that were going on these rides with us with expressing in different ways that they needed training, whether that be someone going down to just the common interest that we all are wanting to grow and learn and do the Smoky Mountain 500 and all these rides in Tellico that we have, because we are in such a prime area of the country for an ADV bike. Okay, so the Dirt Ways training, 2 days long. It's up in Tellico Plains as of right now. We
Dun,
have
dun, dun.
we have an amazing trainer at the moment. We're using Zeke Sikic, which could change, but it sounds like we're going to be blessed and get to have him for the whole season, and hopefully further. But it's 2 days, and it's going to give you the fundamentals of clutch control, off road, really of getting that ass end loose, because we as road riders don't necessarily experience that very often.
Yeah.
I mean, if you haven't grown up riding dirt bikes and you get in the dirt for the first time in some loose marbly gravel, I mean, you'll pucker up, and you got to know how to handle that and not to work against the bike. So the training course is going to give you a lot of that. And if you jump on the website and look, we've got a tab up there for the Dirtways course that breaks it down, and there's no need to go all through that right here, right now. But we list what you need to wear, what we recommend you wear, I should say. How your bike should be set up, meaning does it need knobby tires or not? We get asked that a ton, and people don't seem to understand that knobby tires are not street tires, and they're not advertising the highest mileage. Okay, to me it's like saying, well, I'm going to build this custom 135 engine and this. What's your miles per gallon?
Yeah.
Who fucking cares, dude? You got the fastest fucking bike on the street, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a knobby tire. It's like you're lucky if you get $3 or $4 grand out of it, but it's going to serve the purpose of making you feel more confident off road.
Yeah.
So, like I said, there's a lot more that breaks into what the Dirtways training is, but it's going to give you those fundamentals to where you are comfortable using the rear brake and sliding the tail end when you weren't before. A lot of things that I wasn't used to. Maneuvering the clutch and thinking you're going to burn the clutch up. That clutch is a wet clutch. It's designed to take some pressure, and it can take up to 2,500, 3,000 RPMs roughly or so.
Yeah.
Not constant, but giving it, feathering it and sitting there doing tight maneuvers, or going up a hill where there's a incline and you got stuck halfway up it. We worry about that stuff, and then you're taught and trained to use it. A clutch is a wearable item on a bike for a reason. It's meant to fucking get worn out. There's 8 clutch discs in there. I don't know how many.
Pan America, I don't know.
Well, the standard on a Harley, I think, is 8, which would be the same as a Pan America. I've upgraded mine,
I just ride my bike.
and it has 6 additional clutch plates in
I
it.
can't even tell you how to check my oil.
Well, I know how to do that.
I'm just kidding. I can do it.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not a peasant, so I have someone else do it
Not
for
a
me.
peasant. Yeah, go, okay. All right, guys, you hear that? I know what's
Oh, they
happening
know how
to
I
Marcus
am.
after work.
They know how I am. I'm not even going to ask you my next question because you've already kind of answered
Who are
it.
the peasants?
No, the next question is training really that important? But you've already kind of answered
Man,
it.
I think a human being can't get enough training. Now, the right training, of course, but I mean, you got to be learning something new every single day. And if you don't have that mentality, then you just go ahead and jump in the grave and put the dirt over you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to learn something new. And with training, if you don't value your investment with your motorcycle, whether it's our Pan America or your KTM or whatever, if you don't value making it back home, if you don't value a more enjoyable riding and being able to enjoy the fun aspects of ADV riding, then don't do training.
Yeah.
Okay, but you want to better yourself, and you want to learn something new, and you want to feel more confident, you want to feel more comfortable, and you want to tell your wife or husband, hey, I'm going to make it back at the end of the day because this is what I've invested in. It's just like anything. I mean, you can sit here and put a gun on your hip, but you don't know how to shoot it. What good is it? You shouldn't be holding that gun.
Yeah. Yeah, and training is something me and Daniel highly talk about on this podcast because it's one of those things where, like yesterday we out here doing the photo shoot, and I was riding around the parking lot on my street glide, and I was paying attention to how I was making my U-turns and how to properly make those U-turns and how to make those types of things better. And we do talk about that even with the road bikes. Just get out to a parking lot every once in a while and just ride in figure eights and ride in circles and
Yep.
pay attention to how the bike is performing and those types of things.
Well, you look at like when do a lot of wrecks occur on a street bike or
Yeah.
and it's slow maneuvering.
Yeah.
It's taking a left or right onto a street and looking the opposite direction to see if traffic's coming, and then the bike goes over. How many times have we seen that? With every new rider, I've seen it 100 times.
Yeah.
I've done it myself, and so practicing those slow maneuvers is key.
Yeah.
Like I said, whether you're on the street or in the dirt.
And I want to say this because I experienced this, and I think one of those things that people don't think about too is, and when you're on a road bike, you definitely don't think about it, but most everybody has experienced it. But where you put your foot down, you put your foot down on something, and it's like, oh, that's kind of slick. Me and you went scouting. I put my foot down,
Oops.
and it went out from underneath me, and I rolled off of a Pan America.
Yep.
And trust me, he left me in the woods. He was like, good, that's one less paycheck I have to sign.
When you're riding, when you're riding, and whether you're on the road or not, but you're in the woods, and every 2 seconds you're left, right, left, right, left, right. You can't keep up with the headlights behind you. So when you're scouting, or you're going up an incline that's like treacherous and muddy like we were, and slippery at points, I mean, you take your eye off of that, then you're the same situation that you're in the back there. So you get to a point, right? Like I always do when I'm getting to a flat point, it's a good straightaway, and I slow down, I clutch it, I listen.
Yeah.
Do I hear a bike? Do I hear someone coming up on me? Do I see lights coming through the woods? If I don't, I'll stop, put a leg down, turn the bike off, and listen.
Yeah.
Still nothing. Give it a few minutes. Okay, they ain't coming. I'm going to turn around.
Well, and that ride too, it was definitely cold and wet.
Well, it had snow a few weeks prior. There was snow patches that were melting, and that just makes for a super soggy condition for someone that isn't.
Yeah.
You're not crazy experienced off road, and I mean, had I hit it the same angle you did, I probably would have gone down too.
Yeah, and I think it might have just been about 40 degrees that day we were riding too.
It was a good.
Because there were spots. I mean, the snow wasn't melting. You get onto some rocks and stuff like that, and the snow was staying. So
yeah, no, it was a good day. I mean, had I not,
it was also a fun day.
Been as experienced as I was at that point in time, which was that was still quite some time ago, and I just goosed it, went through that motherfucker, and made it all the way to the top.
I think that was probably early last year,
early spring,
early 22.
Yeah. That was us scouting out the route from.
Well, that was the second time that we did it. It was what it was for anybody that's local to us and has been around the Ocoee. When you're going down the Ocoee on
the damn deli
on the other side, on the other side of the river from where you're riding, that's the Ocoee Wildlife Management Area, and there's trails there, and you can go from essentially what you would recognize as one end of the Ocoee to the other, quote unquote. Hiawassee, Tennessee to Copper Hill, McKaysville area, Ducktown. But there's another entrance that you didn't know about where it comes out beside Dam 3. And that was why we went.
Yep.
So we could figure that out.
Could figure that out.
But like I said, I mean, I've been down. I mean, it's even like that very first time that we went through the creek and
shit show.
It was horrible. We still had a blast. We still had a fantastic time.
It was fantastic until the creek, and then I wanted to get the fuck out of there. At the end of it, you look back and what is a great time, and it's an adventure. And I read a quote earlier today. That, let me pull it up real quick here. It was something that I posted up. Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore. And that hits home because what's adventure? Adventure to everyone's different, and it can be hopping on a Street Glide special and go riding the Coe and go into McKaysville and that's great. That's 100%. Awesome. I love doing it too. Adventure to me is getting in the woods, being off cell service, right, and using my skills that I've been learning. Okay, am I going to make it through these potholes? There's mud. I
don't know if I want to be off cell service.
There's bears. There's wild hog. I mean, there's all kinds of great things, and you're out in nature, and it's an adventure to me.
Yeah.
And an adventure to you is something different as well, too.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't have to be in the fucking woods like what we're doing.
So, what else is it? I want you to tell the people, because anybody that follows our social media has heard me tell them, what else do we have going on with Pan America? Because there's a lot of exciting stuff, and you even know more about some of the stuff that we have going on than I do.
Well, what's going on with Pan America at White Lightning Harley Davidson is...
Yeah, that's what we mean.
It's on a huge level. I mean, we like I said, we've been very, very lucky this last season to have ran into some great people and made some really great friendships. And out of those friendships, it's stemming opportunity to help grow the Harley Davidson Pan America in our community.
Yeah.
Right, and that's what I've really tried to wrap my arms around is the ADV community and how can I get involved. And when I talked to Chuck Lambert, right, and since great guy, knows all the roads and forest roads up in Tellico, great rider, started out on the Scramblers, right. If you don't know him, get out sometime, find him on Facebook, whatever. He's super great guy. He had doubts in me. He thought that I was a GM, and my pitch was to 110% just sell bike, and that's I'm going to buy the Pan America. I'm going to ride it for 4, 5, 6 months and do my pitch, and then I'm going to bounce off.
Yeah.
And now that he's seen that this is my passion. I ride my bike in every day. I have all the gear. I have everything threefold because threefold means I can go to a rally and the first day get dumped in the creek, and the next day I've got clean, dry gear on, right, to do it again. Before I didn't have enough to make it through a day, and where we've come. So doing that and wrapping my arms around the ADV community to understand the brands, to understand why, where, get these guys rallied up. And now that we've been able to do that and grow that culture, we have a Facebook page, Chattanooga ADV Riders. It's growing. That's bringing in people from not just in Chattanooga, but from people in the area that are going to be coming to Chattanooga to experience the ADV scene here.
Well, and speaking of that Facebook page and it growing, I don't know how many current members you have.
It's like 118 or something like that.
And that's Chattanooga-based ADV guys.
But I just got a gentleman the other day from Texas.
Well, the thing,
and I asked him why was he joining our ADV page. You're accepted. That's fine. No big deal.
Yeah.
Great. Follow us. He said because he's going to be traveling to this area.
Yeah.
And he started Googling Chattanooga, or it was on Facebook and searched Chattanooga. We popped up.
Yeah.
For whatever. He's like, I'm riding I think he's on a KTM.
What I tell, and I've told this because people have asked me about, I have people ask me, oh, how did you get started doing the podcast? And I'm like, we just said, hey, let's do it, and we did it. You were there at the birth of it, so you know what I'm talking about. And with that page, you created that Facebook page.
Correct.
Because you asked me, you said, hey, what is out there on Facebook that we can hit these people? And I go, nothing. Why don't you start one?
And we did. And we, I can spend a lot more time on it than I do, but I think we spend enough time to get stuff up, and now it's starting to take its own life in a sense where other members are chiming in and posting
it's
up rides.
It's not a marketing page for the dealership.
No.
It is a Chattanooga
It's not
ADV.
just Pan America. You get on there right now, and there's a KTM in the backdrop. It's anything ADV because I believe that there's many other great brands and makes out there, and and now don't get me wrong, Harley is the number one. And that's just a given. it is what it is. We're the number one shareholder in selling motorcycles for the last 100 years. So.
And I think all these people, because we've had several of your Dirt Days rides, which we'll kind of hit again briefly, but we've had several of your Dirt Days rides where you're leaving our parking lot with only 2 or 3 Pan Americas out of 20 motorcycles out there.
Yep. Was the first one of the year was that way.
And every one of these guys that have done it, maybe not their first time, but they learn it on their first time. These guys that their second time, third time coming back, they're just kind of mind blown because we want them to get out there and enjoy riding motorcycles. We're not trying to shove a motorcycle down their throat.
There's no sales pitch. Every time we
sold
stop.
some bikes because of it.
Well, because they saw what they can do.
Right.
They fell in love with the style, just like we did. And it's not, hey, we're going to go ride these bikes. And I had a couple guys on some of the rides, actually the first one in January, that I'd never met before. And they thought when we stopped, Shawn was going to hop off his bike or stand on top of his bike and have a sales pitch.
Yeah.
And then they found out that's not what it was. They came back for the second one.
Yeah.
And I found that out by saying, hey, thank you for coming back for the second one. I'm glad you enjoyed the first. Well, we wouldn't have come back had you done this. Right? And really what won a couple of those guys over was we had a new Pan America rider with us that needed some adjustments made on their bike. And I got down and made the adjustments. And they were from a competing model or make, and were blown away that I was making those adjustments and helping out. That's I mean, come on. I mean, that's what we do. That's,
Yeah.
who we are. You know,
Well, I think a lot of people have gotten burned on the dealership side, thinking that everything that the dealership's trying to do is a sales pitch. And it was kind of like with this podcast, you know, like I said, when we got this started, you've been on the green light for the podcast since day one, and I said, hey, we're going to talk about anything and everything about every make and motorcycle that's out there. You said that's fine. The only ground rules, let's not badmouth anybody.
Correct.
And I said I'm perfectly fine with that. Even though they all know how I feel about Indian on this podcast, I don't badmouth anybody.
But at the end of the day, we want to grow motorcycling. I want to grow the ADV community in particular, and that's what this is about, or what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, and Harley and our dealership here welcomes any and everybody, and we don't judge. I mean, you can ride in and here on a Honda Shadow. It's no different. We're taking on trade.
We all judge Daniel when he's here.
Well, it's Daniel.
Oh, poor little Honda.
Oh, Daniel, it's okay, buddy. We'll get you there one day. No, it's. You can't, man. There's too many other great things out there, and especially in this sport and segment that we're in, there's so much for us to learn. I mean,
Yeah.
I've been blessed to team up with Avondre and Tracy, and those guys are from the GS Giants. Okay, they ride BMWs. I mean, Tracy doesn't right now. He's on his Norden, but before they were both
For
on
now.
BMWs. Yeah, well, he's planning on buying a Pan America. But there's so much to learn. They've been doing this for how long? Right?
Yeah.
And how long have we been doing it? Right? So put the two together. That makes sense. Get with someone that's experienced. You ride behind someone else. You start mimicking their moves. You start mimicking how they're going into curves. You start mimicking, oh, I see them slamming their rear brake on.
Yeah.
Either I need to or there's a reason we're doing this, right? You start learning all that.
I gotta stand up.
You
There's
know?
chairs.
So, yeah, I make them very uncomfortable. So that...
Anyways.
So going back to what it is for White Lightning, okay, we do every Saturday, or I'm sorry, once a month,
Third
every
Saturday
month,
of the month.
Third Saturday of the month, we do a Dirt Days. I know it's
Unless
confusing.
otherwise noted.
Yeah, 90% of them plus are the third Saturday of the month. We have a few here and there, like in May, where we're going to be at TMMR.
March.
March. will
Third
be-
Saturday of May is TMMR.
Yeah, so we'll be there. That's what I'm saying.
We'll still have a Dirt Days ride.
We're having a Dirt Days ride in essence on Friday, just on a different day, whatever. So you got me sidetracked there. So we have a ride once a month. Okay, and it's if you want to ride your Sportster Scrambler, you want to ride a dirt bike and can make it if it's roadworthy or road legal, I should say, because we have paved sections, between or leading up to wherever
Yeah.
we're going. We're out riding, okay, and we're hitting the woods. We're gonna go to Tellico and go hit all the amazing fire roads and trails up there. We're not getting off on Trail 81 or 82. It's single track and way above a lot of people's experience levels.
We're going to in a couple weeks, though.
But not with a group of people from the dealership. But we typically try to find somewhere where we can grab some lunch, talk, mingle, get to know each other, grow that ADV community. Okay, so there's that. We do the training. We've got 4
we technically have 5 total trainings.
Well, we got 4 intermediate trainings and then 1 advanced class as of yet that we've got scheduled, which we could be growing some of this year depending on popularity. And we've got now 8 or 9 signed up for this class in March.
And I want to point out, because I know someone's going to say something, the reason you referenced is that as intermediate training and not beginner training is because beginner training should be for somebody that knows how to ride a motorcycle. If they don't know how to ride a motorcycle to begin with,
that's not what this class is about.
Yeah.
We're not training you how to ride a bike. We're training you how to ride an adventure bike in
the dirt.
Right. We're heavily involved this month. I mean, our month kicks off here in a few days with our first training, the 25th, and then after that we roll into March Moto Madness, kick-ass event. We went to it last year for the first time. Keith and the guys that I work with have been going for several years now. It's any make and model ADV, from Sportster Scramblers to Harley Pan Americas to KTMs.
It was really fun last year, though, to see everybody's reaction to Pan America.
Well, we had Matt Kelly riding one. So we put the best rider, which we got very lucky linking up with Matt Kelly. We put him
Yeah.
on our demo bike, put some knobby tires on it, set it up for him. He and I discussed, back and forth probably 5 or 6 times how he needed the bike adjusted. He took it out one day. He got it comfortable with it. We got it tweaked for him in the modes, and then he went and owned every segment of that rally.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, no, he won from the hill climb to the slow races.
He was a touch over 6 minutes for the trials course. Second place was a touch over 12 minutes.
Yeah, on a Harley Pan America that can't be done.
Yeah, second place was on a BMW
Needless
GS.
to say, we had a few butthurt individuals.
We had some very butthurt individuals.
Well, that's okay. It's competition.
We had some people going, "Oh, it was only because it was Matt Kelly."
Well, no shit. You put a great rider on a bike. I mean, they can make any bike look good in essence.
Yeah.
But I mean, he bought one.
Yeah.
So if that says anything,
Yeah,
I didn't force Matt Kelly.
He loves that.
I didn't pay Matt Kelly. Harley didn't pay Matt Kelly. Harley didn't give him a bike.
I know
he bought his own.
I know
his own pocket.
He loved how the torque was and stuff like that with the bike.
He loved it because when they first took off on that trials course, and he was able to punch that throttle, drop the clutch, and clear that rear tire tread.
Yeah,
that's how he was able to keep traction and keep moving.
Yeah.
He said his other bikes lacked that right there.
Yeah.
So going back to one of our original questions, what do some people like about the bike? It's that throttle, it's that twist of that grip.
Yeah.
The cool thing about it is don't be scared about that. If you're like, well, I got to be a Matt Kelly to ride this thing. The modes we had tweaked for him were not your standard average modes. It was fully tweaked 110%. It took us a whole day to get that thing dialed in for him.
Well, and I want to say this because we'll draw it to an end. It's been really exciting. This in a couple weeks. 3 weeks actually, when we have March Meadow Madness. It'll be the second time, I guess, for both of us to March Meadow Madness.
Yep.
But we're literally showing up with an entirely different view because last year when we got there, I'm sending you pictures or talking to you. Hey, did you see the Harley Davidson Ford Ranger? I was like, that guy's apparently this guy works for Harley and goes around, and it's like, your profile picture on Facebook is us hanging out with him and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, man, have you seen this commercial that Harley has where they're drifting the bikes around and all this other stuff? And it's like, oh, the guy that filmed that commercial, here's his phone number. Oh, yeah, I've got him coming out. He's going to be hanging out with us and stuff like that. And we're showing up now in a different capacity.
Well, like I said, we met some very great people. We were put in front of some very, very, very talented people, and we made friendships out of it.
Yeah.
It's not anything other than that. It's a friendship.
Well, it was funny because to even go from last March to last October, because there was a ADV rally there in October.
Yep. Let's take a ride.
There in March, and people see me and they're like, oh yeah. Now, people did ask about my street glide, which I thought was neat. People wanted to know about it. But outside of that, people were just like, oh yeah, it's Harley.
We're going to know a hell of a lot more people this year.
Well, that was what I was going to say. In October, I'm standing there, and there are people walk up to me and they go, oh, what's your name? I'm like, oh, I'm Marcus. And they're like, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I work for Harley. And they're like, oh, really? Just to open the floodgates, 1,000 questions.
Yeah. Well, and this year we know more people. We're more involved in the ADV community. We've built that here in our backyard, which all those folks are going to be there, right? Yeah. And we've done nothing but good things and support them and just put rides together, right? And just make a rock star experience. And that's what I try to do for everything. A new customer buying a new Street Glide Special on our floor, to Pan America, to whatever, to our events that you work so hard on, that we spend a lot of time on, to our rides, our ADV stuff. I obviously am very passionate about ADV, but that's not our 110% main focus here.
Yeah.
We make riders, we help people make their dreams come true. If it's on a Harley Davidson Pan America, then you're on the right bike, because we've got a lot of options here to keep you riding.
Yeah.
And to keep you engaged. And if you buy a bike from us, a Pan America, and you can't find a way to be engaged, then I feel like I failed, and I don't think we give them that option because we're on it so well.
Yeah. So we'll let you go, but I do want to say me and Shawn have been talking. We haven't gotten anything worked out yet. But we're going to do something. We're going to bring some sort of offering engagement to those listening to this. We're working on some stuff, so y'all stay tuned for that information. Shawn, I know you're busy. Thank you for letting me lock your door.
It's always fun, Marcus. We never talk, and I grow weary thinking about how I miss your voice.
He's being facetious right now because he says I walk into his office 10 times a day.
You're normally the first person I talk to, and I love it. It brightens my day.
Now you're being facetious again. You're normally the first person I talk to because I make sure to greet you in the morning. Say, hey, how you doing?
Because you see, days begin with each other.
But I always make sure that you're having a good day.
You do. You are very polite.
Because if you're like
very good,
if you're like, no, it's a horrible morning. You're not going to see me for like the next 5 hours. I'm just going to disappear.
See, I like setting those traps. I'm like, hey, Marcus, it's great, and then it really is a horrible morning, and let you step into that trap.
You know, the only people that would be like, oh, I'm going to crap on you because it's a horrible day. You know who does that? Indian riders.
Indian riders. Okay.
Hey everybody, this is Shawn at White Lightning Harley Davidson. I want to thank you for listening to the Daily Biker Podcast. You can reach the podcast on Facebook or Instagram at The Daily Biker, or you can email the podcast at thedailybiker@gmail.com. Be sure to keep an eye on White Lightning Harley Davidson social media pages for the most up-to-date information on all our events and where you can find the boys.